Good morning, traders. Today is Friday, December 31st. Happy New Year's Eve to everyone out there. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right. Well, I thought we'd start zoomed out a little bit today so that I could go ahead and discuss a topic that I brought up yesterday. So essentially, I feel like what the market is starting to build up here in this area is a balancing area high. I think, the market likes to, when it creates this much excess, as we created to the upside to get up here, it likes to balance off that excess. And one way it can do that is it can just kind of go up and down at higher prices for a little while, and then break out of that balance to create new excess to the upside. So it felt to me over the last few days like we were developing that balancing area high. But we don't know yet where that balancing area low could be. Now, there is a chance it could be in this area right here where we're opening right now. In which case, what would happen today is the market would trade back up towards the balancing area high. But it could also, we might need to pull back down. We might need to pull back down into this area, into the 4720s, looking for support in there, or even to backfill this gap down here to the 4687 area. And so again, one reason I wanted to start so zoomed out this morning is just to talk about this cumulative volume. You can see where the larger nodes of volume are over here on the left. These are really important because the market tends to just move from one large cumulative node to another and back and forth and bounce between them, which is how you kind of backfill and get more volume. And we can see over here, there's very little volume between this one above us and the next below. Over in this area, there's very, very thin volume in here. So the market can move through this area just below us. So say between where the market currently is at 70 down to like 4720 pretty easily. It doesn't have a lot of support between there. So it could push right through down to those lower levels. So that's kind of my focus today, is figuring out where is the balancing area low going to be? How far down is the market going to push? If right now it seems like it wants to stay up in this higher end up in here. If this does end up being the balancing area up in here, that would be more bullish. And I would be looking basically just for the market to rotate inside here again. So it gets back up here, repairs these weak references, and then rotates in here, with the potential, of course, to break out to the upside. So we opened below the spike down from yesterday. So spike will say that is the most bearish scenario. We also opened with a small gap, but we immediately filled that gap. And we did not get a gap and go. So that's slightly bullish. My guess right now is that we're going to find some resistance in here, and we're going to head back down and test these lows from earlier this morning. But if the market can stay above the opening price from here, that would be very bullish. So if the market can stay above this node from the overnight and from this morning, pulls back down, finds support here, that would be bullish for continuation. But if that breaks, I think we're looking at a further pullback. As far as resistance, there's a couple of pockets here where the market could find resistance before it gets to the base of the spike down. So there's a lot of resistance for the market to work its way through. And I'd like to see how it reacts to the node of volume right around the opening price. Good morning, Big Ray. Good to see you. Arthur, welcome. Miles, welcome. Good to see you. Diego, good morning. Cyrus is here. 777 Athletic. Happy New Year to you as well. Ronald, good morning. Alan, hello. Scooball, welcome to you as well. Good to see you. Please smash that like button. Get that algo going on this Friday. Also got some super low levels in here. A couple levels with only 60, 97, and 77 contracts. Those are very likely to backfill. It's pretty rare we leave that low volume. Overlord 3000, good morning to you and Happy New Year. 777, it's good. Yeah, got it back. It's working. I lost all my data, so I'm having to start everything over from scratch, but it's working like a beaut. Like a brand new computer. 2 Manifs, good morning to you. Miles, finding support in yesterday's high, not bullish yet? Question mark. No, I'm not bullish because I think overall what's at play here, as I mentioned, right now, this morning, we might be having a little bit of a push higher. But I think we've already put in the highs. I think these 3 days here, this was the balance area high. So I think all that's going to happen is we'll push up into here, find resistance somewhere, and then come back down to find a low. And it might be that it's where the overnight was. Could be it's in here. Maybe this area right up in here where we opened is the balance area low. And then we'll know because we get all the way to the opposite end. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're just pushing up into resistance. I also think there's just going to be crazy low volume today and not much is going to happen. A screwball, but if overnight was a look below and fail, yeah. So if, let's say, yesterday's low was the balance area low, so the overnight last night was a look below and fail, yeah, we should head straight up to the opposite end of balance. I just won't be in a long trade for it, which is fine. At least not yet. If the internals start to get really bullish, then maybe you can get me on board. But so far, we can't even keep the ticks above the zero line. I didn't change the gain on my mic intentionally, but as soon as I saw your comment, it did look like it was pretty high. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Now. Good. Thank you. Alan, it's looking a bit strong 10 minutes in. Yeah, I mean, that's like your opinion, man. You know, to me, it doesn't look that strong. It doesn't look weak, but it just doesn't look strong either. Looks like resistance. Okay, so now we look at the backfill of these. Well, there it goes right now as we're speaking. Those levels that only had less than 100 contracts, there's still one here with 77. So that is the next order of business for the market to backfill that. And then we'll see what it does with this little node of volume right around the opening price down here around 66, 67, where the overnight had its POC. And we'll see, can it find support there? If it finds support there, I'd be willing to go long with it for a continuation towards the base of the spike. But if that breaks, then the market is looking to go lower. Rocket, glad to hear it, brother. Have a good day. Happy New Year. All right, so looking for support right around right around this area. Can they hold the market here? If not, it's that concept of needing to explore lower prices, looking for a balance area low. So if not right here around 66, next stop is probably down about 57. If that fails, I mean, you're probably heading down towards 47.22. So the market really needs to bring in the support here intraday today to prevent a larger pullback. And remember, that's because of all the excess, right? We created a lot of excess to get up here from all the way down here. It's a huge piece of excess up, okay? So just taking a look real quick here at the NQ zoomed out like this, you can clearly see where their cumulative volume comes in, right around 16,334-ish. This area should act as strong support. It's just where their overnight started to dip in. Because this here on the NQ looks like a good balancing area setting itself up here. So let's see. ES holding up that that opening area. Maybe they don't need to go down for further downside exploration. Man, I think they just changed my mind. Clicking over and seeing the ticks looking like this. Seven Athletic. The money printer goes burr. It does not. The money printer does not go burr anymore. They're tapering the print. Fred tapering is still burr. That's true. That's still some buying. There go the ticks once again getting slapped down. Well, another slow, methodical, low volume. Market could go anywhere at any moment kind of day. Just like we've had all week. All right, so once again, third time's a charm, retesting this support right around the opening price. If it holds here, it's good for a long trade to try to go test the top of the spike down, the base of the spike down. But if it breaks, that is bearish for further downside continuation, and it looks like it's breaking as I'm speaking. All right, I'm changing the banner to bearish because I think we need to explore some lower prices here. Like I said, we got some support in the areas where the overnight found support. In these nodes of volume back here to the left at where we are now, 60, and the next one down at 55. But if those don't hold, I feel like we need a larger pullback that might target either 47.39 or 47.20. Okay. So let's see how far they got to pull it back here. Okay, so now we should expect this area that was acting as support earlier on in the morning, right around this node of volume around the opening price. We should expect that to act as resistance on the way back up. And that would cause the ticks to get smacked down back below the zero line. If not, if the market is able to push back through this node once again, I will switch to a neutral stance, looking for the market to go sideways. But I think we're going to find resistance there. All right. Well, my apologies, guys. I was wrong on that call. They are not looking for a bigger pullback. They should have found resistance there if they were going to. So we may have a good balancing area low in this area. My guess is going to be 4760 is what I'm looking at as a potential balancing area low. Rob, can you hear me? I'm just not saying anything. Trying to figure out what the market's trying to do. Rob, do we only create excess to the upside? Of course not. We can create excess to the downside as well. And it works exactly the same. The market needs to pull back up to balance it off. So you can see here, too much excess to the downside. You got to pull back up with price to balance it off. Too much excess to the downside, pull back up. Excess to the downside, pull back up. Excess to the downside, pull back up. Downside, pull back up. Over and over. But they do function very differently, right? Excess to the downside happens very quickly, and then it generally grinds back up with price. Whereas excess to the upside happens with more of a grind up and then can go sideways at higher prices, as opposed to it can also pull back down with price the same way. But sometimes it can just go sideways at higher prices instead. Wow. What an interesting day. Well, the ticks are starting to trend higher here. All the internals are trending higher. Price is back above that open once again. So if you were paying attention, it pushed higher, came back down, found support, pushed higher again, broke through, came back up, found resistance, broke through again, came back down, found support, and now it's heading higher. So this is starting to function like a balance area low over here, and we might be heading to the opposite end of balance. Which would be these weak references up here. It's too early to make that call for sure, but it's just setting itself up to potentially do that. Very, very strange. People are strange who trade the markets, the decisions they make, and where they move their money. It is strange. All right, guys. Well, with that, the striking of the bell, 10:30 a.m. I'll be signing off from this, the last live stream of 2021. Thank you all so much for joining me. It's been a wonderful year. It's been quite a journey for the pirate, both personally and professionally over the last year. And you all have been along for the ride, so that's been pretty awesome. If you are a member of the Brigade, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Brigade live stream, although I personally won't be very active today. I'll have the stream up and running, and if I see anything worth discussing, I'll pop on and talk about it. But my guess is we're going to get another boring, grindy day like the last few. And I just don't have the attention for it. So for those of you that are not members of the Brigade, I wish you a happy new year. And we will see you on the 3rd. And for those of you that are in the Brigade, come hang out in the private stream. I might not have much to say, but I'll be around. Thanks a lot. Goodbye, everyone.